All right, guys, we are back with round three of disposition choices. So, this next one came to media public attention in the last year or two when Luke Perry died, and he supposedly was buried in a mushroom suit. So, there's been huge discussion about mushroom suit, and this is an area I know that our guest, the modern mortician, Melissa down in Texas, knows far more than I. So I'm going to have her school me today on mushroom suits.
All right. Well, I have a little bit more insight than the traditional, person involved with the knowledge of this. In 2016, the creator approached myself and a natural burial park in the Austin area about doing a test burial with her shroud. And I found a willing family. And she flew in with the shroud, and we shrouded the body the night before. And we had a researcher from the University of Texas involved that came out to the grave site the next morning, and we placed PVC pipe in the ground so that they could run cameras down there to visually catch what was going on with the shroud, and also to take soul samples to put accreditation or something, like to validate her claims that the soil would be better off, cleansed after the burial of a person with the shroud on it than it was prior to the burial. So we had a beautiful natural burial. Body was about 3 feet deep, just like it is with most natural burial, where all the good microbial action is. And several months went by, and it was radio silence from the other side. And I was like, what's going on? Maybe this is great news. In the meantime, I had some cat shrouds that had been given to me by the creator, that we were going to do test burials on cats too. But everything kind of stopped because I wasn't getting any communication. I still have these cat shrouds, by the way, and they smell like mushrooms. So I ended up getting an email one day from the researcher. She's like, hey, I'm moving, the research is over. I wanted to talk to you about this before I leave. So we went and had coffee, and she was also getting radio silent treatment after her findings. No mushrooms grew. Nothing happened. And it was just a huge disappointment. And again, this is 2016. This was before Luke Perry ever got wind of it, or maybe he had heard about it, but it's definitely before he died. So multiple emails to the creator again. What happened? You're still promoting this product, you're still selling it. So after not getting feedback, I began to speak out against it. And I was like, this is my experience. This is what I have seen happen with the mushroom shroud, and we're not getting any feedback. Well, then it was quiet for a while. All was calm and quiet. And then Luke Perry kicked the bucket. And here we go again with this $2,500 or $2,800 shroud that promises to have mushrooms devour all your toxins. And it's like, what is it when the guy pedals into town and sells his little wares and then takes off? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel like it turned out with the renewal of interest in this great idea, much like with Capsuli Monday. Yeah, great idea, really cute, but does it work? No. So as somebody that advocates for families and being taken advantage of, in times of grief, this was a huge, huge trigger for me. Like, why are we selling a $2,500 piece of fabric that does not do what it claims to do? So I did a podcast with somebody. I had written multiple Instagram posts about it over time and my experience. And I began to have people reach out to me. Oh, I tried to buy a cat shroud and I paid for it, and then my cat died and the shroud never came in. And I'd email and ask, where's my shroud? And nothing happened. And I had to do a chargeback on my credit card. Had another girl that was like, my father was involved in the documentary burial that they did with this, and he had dementia and should not have been making these decisions on his own. And, we feel like he was exploited, different things like that. I was getting information, and I was just like, this is just too much. Why isn't this being addressed publicly? Why is this product still being sold? So that has been my experience with the mushroom burial shroud in a nutshell. On the positive side, you got to look for the light in every dark corner. It has at least brought attention to shrouded burials, like the fact that you can have a natural burial or a shrouded burial, but you don't need to pay for a mushroom infused piece of fabric to shroud your body. You know, you can use cotton or grandma's favorite quilt or different things like that. So it has sparked a conversation that may not have been there before, but I wish the creator would address the issues and the knowledge that it hasn't worked, or if maybe it was the soil in Texas, maybe it just didn't work here, maybe she's got proof that it's worked somewhere else. We need that proof in order, you know, to support a product that's out there asking for $2,500 and up.
And there's only one company that's creating these, or are there other companies that have come along with a mushroom type product? Or
just one?
Just the one. Okay. I honestly did not look at all into this before this, so I could be like a total consumer rather than a professional knowing about it, because
right.
I will totally investigate and read into stuff after our conversation, but I really wanted to kind of be on the ignorant side of not knowing anything about this. So is there any like Better Business Bureau or anything that has been like reported on them, Ben? Do you know?
No, I don't know. And I wouldn't know how to begin to do that. I don't think they're even listed with the Better Business Bureau.
I'll have to look into that. That's interesting. Yeah, it is interesting that, you know, just all sorts of products that are marketed for, you know, death and everything, every type of urn, every type of, you know, all the jewelry, all the diamonds and all those things. And I yesterday was posed to the question about even, you know, cremation, the diamonds and such, and asking about, you know, the actuality, is that really a loved one? Is that? And I'm like, you know, I've never had anybody ask me really and question it. So I started researching into that yesterday, and it is interesting once you start researching in how much false things are out there. And so just like anything, I know Melissa would give the warning, you know, research before you dive into any type product. If it just gives you a warm and fuzzy, great. You know, if that's, you want to believe in something, then that's what gets you through the moment when you've lost somebody. You know, to each his own. But always look into things before you purchase them if you're hoping with one clear expectation of what you want to be the end result, because it may not be. So I think this is a good warning type thing from, you know, what you're saying about the mushroom soup, because it was supposed to kill toxins. Mushrooms are supposed to grow on top of the earth or in
the ground in the shroud, and help decompose the body and break down the toxins that are in it and return the soil to a better state than it was when the body was buried there.
So like neutralize kind of the bad things, or
like medicines that may be in the body after death.
Gotcha.
Toxins that we take in during our lifetime.
Interesting. I can't wait to delve more into this. We'll have to do a part 2 of mushroom suits once, because I know you, when are you going to be hearing a presentation on mushroom suits? When is that?
March the 17th. I am a speaker at South by Southwest, along with the women of Palehurst. But right before our speaking engagement is the creator of the mushroom burial shroud. So I will be very interested to see if her spiel has changed at all, if she has research now that supports her claims. Again, I'm rooting for all these things to be true, but in my experience, it hasn't happened. And when you get radio silence from somebody that you did a huge favor for free, it might rub some people the wrong way. And I feel like it did that to me.
Yeah. Well, and you would think the research would be there if it's been done. It would be maybe on their website. It would be maybe out there, and for any, you know, consumer to get their hands on, to see what the benefits are and to see through, you know, proof what has happened. So that'll be interesting.
Agreed.
So part 3 in the books for Melissa and I. We've got one more lined up episode for disposition choices coming up. So make sure to watch out for part 4 coming soon. Bye, guys.